Hey, what's up, fellas? I'm Malicious Female Fan Steve Alicious here, and I wanted to talk a bit about the Pixel 5a and also Team Pixel. I strongly encourage you to watch the entire video before you go ahead and pass judgment on what I'm about to say, because I think there's a lot of good that happens with Team Pixel, but I also think there's some things that go on. They're not intentional. It's not like people are trying to trick anybody or anything like that, but just the after effects of what Google does with Team Pixel that can bleed through to the advice given to the consumer. So if at the end of the video, if you think I've been unfair, go ahead, leave a comment, dislike, whatever you got to do, but please hear me out all the way through because I want to talk about the Pixel 5a. First, let's talk about Team Pixel. I really like what Google does with Team Pixel. I think it's important. I will never be on Team Pixel. They probably don't want me. I've said some critical things about Google Pixel devices in the past. I've said a lot of positive things about Google Pixel devices in the past. You could go through, see the record, you could see the videos. I got a lot of negative stuff, but I got a lot of positive stuff as well. And I am really looking forward to the Pixel 6. Really looking forward. As long as they get the hardware right on that, I think they're going to knock it out of the park. So I'm excited for that. But let's talk about what actually happens when they send these devices out. The first thing is that it is a good thing that smaller creators get the devices in their hands. Because what are you going to see with that? MKBHD, okay? He got the device. He did his first video. Kind of nonplussed by it, which I think is where the eventual landing point of the device should be. Maybe you'll see a full review. Then you're never going to see the thing again. Until it's time to compare it to the Pixel 6a next year. That's when you'll see it next on his channel. Which is fine. But the good thing is that when you give it out to all these smaller creators, giving people a chance, that's where you're going to get the camera comparison videos. The 48 hours later, the 72 hours later, the week later, the month later, the 6 month later. All the rest of it, nooks and crannies, gaming videos on the Pixel 5a. All stuff that's absolutely a service to the customer. The more videos on the device, the better. The more in-depth the videos can get, the better for the consumer trying to make a decision on the device. And getting more people involved is just a good thing. You know, I saw a tech reviewer that didn't even open one of the Pixels that was sent to them. I think for months later, they did it in like a mass unboxing or something like that. Look, they want exposure for their devices. Giving it out to people who are going to be super excited and do the videos about those devices is a good thing. Here's the issue. Google's not a charity organization. They know what they're doing. It's a double-edged sword. So what you do is you bring all these people in, and Google acts kind of like seed investors, kind of these angel investors in smaller channels. They'll send you out a phone, they'll get you in Team Pixel, they'll get you in this great community of other creators who are around the same size, all with Team Pixel, all excited, and they kind of generate this brand loyalty. And it's not like they don't cull people out of Team Pixel. Get a little too critical next time around, you're not getting a device, all right? So they're obviously not doing it out of the goodness of their heart, which is fine. They're a business. That's okay. But what you get by kind of pumping some people up and you get them all excited and you say, you treat them like they're big time. You get this wall. If you were on Twitter the other day when people got their shipments of Pixel 5a's, this wall of praise for a device that was barely even used yet. And you have people making pre-order decisions and seeing just all this attention this is getting. And you would have thought the Pixel 5a had just come down from the mountain with some of these texts. You know, a lot of words that you shouldn't be throwing around with tech. You felt like they had the tablet in one hand and the Pixel 5a in the other walking down. And then a little later you saw some problems with the Pixel 5a, things that they'll probably fix. I think it's probably good hardware. They usually make good stuff. It's just price and specs that get a little goofy with Google stuff. But they'll probably fix the overheating stuff with software. Probably it'll be fine. But you get this lack of objectivity. It's not people just saying, "Oh, I got it for free, so I'm going to give it a pass on everything." No, it's natural. I get $30 earbuds. I'm more favorable. I try to look on them in a better light than I would have otherwise. It's human nature. You don't want to disappoint someone who had just given you a gift. But at the same time, we have to understand that people are spending a week's salary on this thing. $450 is still $450. There's people who are going to have this device for 2 and 3 years. And these devices don't live in a vacuum. And I'll say this, when you watch this channel, there are two things that we go over in terms of, when I say we, I mean the royal we, of course. Two things that we go over in terms of a device. What's the soul of the device? All right, plenty of places, you can get specs, you can read specs off of GSM Arena. You can read specs, okay? What's the soul of a device? Where does it fit in the universe? What need does this device fill? Does it spark joy? And the second thing, the price. Does the price reflect the need that the device fills? And in my mind, when you look at the entire range of devices in the universe, the Pixel 5a is a no on both counts. The first one, where does it fit in the universe? Who really should be jumping on the Pixel 5a? It's an odd kind of stopgap. Google's already shown you their hand. Tensor, sort of custom chips, HDR video, more demanding stuff is on the horizon. Google in the past has done a very good job of trickling down their software stuff to older devices eventually. Night sight, astrophotography, all the rest of it. Kind of makes its way down to the Pixel, even the A devices in time. If, that's a big if it turns out that the 5A does struggle with the video, with overheating, with whatever, and they can't really solve it in software, how likely do you think it is that they're going to take the HDR video stuff, the higher computational photography stuff they're looking to do with the Pixel 6 and the Pixel 6 Pro and their custom chip, and fitting that, kind of shoehorning that into a Snapdragon 765G? I think you're really shorting yourself. If you have a Pixel 2 XL that you're getting an hour battery life with now on Android 11, if you have a 3A or something like that, try to find some sort of stopgap measure to get you through. If you have a 3A, you could probably even get it through the next year. Whatever you got to do, get to the point where you could get a Pixel 6, or at least if there's a Pixel 7 next year, whatever it is, you can make payments on it, whatever it happens to be. Because I think that's where you want to be. If you get yourself a 5A, you're signing up for 2 and 3 years of the older chipset. They're going to start moving away from it. The reason why they're going to Tensor, the reason why they're going to start doing their custom stuff, is because they have to differentiate themselves somehow from these other manufacturers. It's not happening otherwise. You can't all just have the Snapdragon X8 whatever in there and be different somehow from Samsung, Apple, and all the rest of them. So the way they're going to do it is with Tensor. So I don't think the Pixel 5a really fits that business model going forward, and I think you're going to be shorted with features going forward. The second one is price. It's a lot of the same internals, and I saw a lot of stuff online this week saying, well, the S20 wasn't that different from the S21, and Apple repackaged the iPhone 8 into the iPhone SE. Yeah, but they upgraded the internals, so they made it at least somewhat justifying the price. They gave you their latest and greatest as far as the chipset's concerned. There was an upgrade in that. Google is offering you the same chipset as last year. Same amount of RAM, 765, storage, all the rest of it. Yeah, they upgraded some stuff. And I don't get me wrong. There is absolutely a premium to the Pixel software and having a stock install of Android on a device. But don't at the same time sit there and say, make it like Google's doing you some favor by offering this device at $450. But just because of the price, don't discount that certain feature sets shouldn't work. If it says it could do 4K video at 60 and certainly at 30, then it should do that. No one said they had to have those features in there. They put them in there. They put them in the marketing materials. They should work. Period, ended. I don't care what you pay. You can pay $1. If they advertise that that's a feature in it, it should work. As far as the $450 is concerned, I understand the United States. Cell phone market's wonky. We don't have a lot of choices. However, let me introduce you to, if I could find it, the Realme X50 5G. Now, this is the Chinese version, the Chinese ROM version. Gorilla Glass 5, front and back. 120 hertz display. Super fast. It's an LCD, okay, so it's a little different there. 8 gigs of RAM in this version. The Snapdragon 765G, 128 gigs of storage, $400. There was an international version that they had in Europe, that Europe got through Amazon, that was even cheaper than that, with a slightly different specs though. But it had an AMOLED display at 90 hertz, $400. So I understand in the United States, a lot of devices like this don't gain traction, a foothold. And I understand it doesn't have Pixel software or the Pixel camera or all the rest of it, but $400 for that hardware, okay? So when you sit there at $450 for the Pixel 5a, don't make it like Google's doing you any favors, okay? They're still making money. It exists out in the world that you could have that hardware for cheaper. And it doesn't necessarily mean that Google's really giving you they're really pinching pennies, giving you a budget device, really helping you out with that $450. It's costing them a heck of a lot less than that, because this came out in January of 2020 with the same internal spec of the Google Pixel 5a, which came out August 2021. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, listen, it's a good thing that they give out devices to as many people as possible. It's a good thing to level the playing field. Let other people take a crack at getting devices early and all the rest of it. But just keep in the back of your mind where that can lead sometimes, even if it's not intentional on the part of their creator. Have that Steve-alicious day.